Cue music. And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with my co-host. Maybe I'm here with my co-host. No. There. See how this goes? Tank gets on, and all of a sudden, dropped right from the call. This very strange. I'm having. As soon as I started the broadcast and everything, it's my whole computer system started slowing down as well. So, hey Tank, how's it going?
Hey, Dan, are we live?
We're live, yes. It was pretty funny. I said, "And my co-host," and then there was nothing, and I saw you were already bumped off the call. I am recording this, so just in case there's any faux pas, not working out, I'm going to go ahead and have it available by recording. So, anyway, how's it going, Tank? If Tank can talk. And Tank is gone again. Oh, you're back. You disappeared again.
Goodness.
But you're here. I hear you.
Okay. All right. Let's try this again. So I am currently traveling for the UNC and actually for the Light Force, and we did have some really exciting people step up from all over the country for Light Force. So we have literally thousands of different groups now that have stepped up to be a part of Light Force. Ever since they figured out that Light Force would be under the post office rather than the Department of Justice, they've been trying to block us. So we had our guy who was supposed to go in to speak to the president this week, and they stalled him out, as is true to form, right? And I believe that Kim made some arrangements to help him out with something, and they did what they normally do, right? So they basically blocked it. So then Kim was not happy. They came back and were very apologetic, and so they rescheduled meetings. So now Light Force will go back in this week, and badges are being made, and they're still moving forward the process. Regardless, we're still underneath the jurisdiction of the highest authority in the land, and Kim is very much about bringing out Light Force in a brand new way.
I'm actually I'm showing the Life Force agreement on screen just while you're talking, just so you know.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for everybody out there who is in any kind of civilian defense group, any kind of patriots that really want to be part of something on a larger scale, we have a lot of people in need everywhere. and that's going to be the job of the Life Force, is to come together, and we're going to have a global network that will be in every country in the world. And we are welcoming everybody who is about protecting the people to be able to stand up. And that's really what we're focused on now. And there's some pretty amazing groups, right? There's a group that was in Russia that's loyal to the Tsar and protecting the needs of the Tsar. And even though there has not been a Tsar, they've been loyal in protecting the people. They still ride on horseback and carry guns and stuff, right? So things like that. So that's still, like we have different groups like that all over the world that are stepping up. So the Life Force is going to be a global protection unit. In addition, Life Force will also be kind of the extension of, to be able to fund projects. Life Force will be able to actually enforce the law. Life Force will be used for inventors who want to bring out their inventions, and they'll be able to get funding. Life Force will have the first, UNC is actually going to be a branch, so to speak, of Life Force. So it'll be the first real news network that will be global. And all of that is moving at an incredibly fast pace. I guess we're about 4 weeks in right now. And I can tell you that from the very beginning to where we've gone now, that the quality of the product is better. We have more qualified people working at all levels. The organization is better. And we have really, Kim's done some amazing things, as always. She's basically, all the donations that people have given, thank you so much. We've needed every single dime. Every penny has gone in to purchase servers, to purchase, to take care of, to move experts into position, to create the most formidable network in existence. It will be unhackable. It will not be controlled by advertising whatsoever. So we will never pander to the advertising. This is something that is happening everywhere, and the product is amazing. The stories that we have that are about to come out, we're about to break some things here. Later on this week, we will put out some short kind of beginning news clips, so that people that will have substance to them. And that's part of what I'm doing, traveling right now, working with Qanon, and just getting together a really great product. And we do have a formal process for civilian journalists. So if you are out there and you've been a novice, just kind of an activist working to, get a message out there on YouTube or somewhere else, and you want a bigger platform that is mainstream, you can come on board with UNC. And there's a process that has to go through, and we'll actually issue you a press pass, and we will have our own press passes for places like the White House and every place else. And we will issue those out to our, civilian journalists, and they have to cooperate with the ethical guidelines, obviously. But we did a great interview yesterday with one of our civilian journalists who just really provided some amazing information. And one of the things this gentleman said, Eric Butler said, he said he was down at Jones Beach in Long Island, and while on Jones Beach, everyone was social distancing, right? And there was a 1 hour thunderstorm, so they pushed everybody off the beach really, really quick, right? And it crowded them all together. And he made such a great point. I thought it was brilliant. He goes, so actually what you're saying is we have a better chance of being hit by lightning than getting COVID-19. So I thought that was brilliant.
Those are wonderful replies. Yes, I wish we'd see a lot more of that. I feel like sometimes just replacing the reporter on all of these interviews and just ask like the obvious follow-up question.
Well, right, and so it's amazing. There's every morning we have production meetings now. I've had production meetings every morning, or just business meetings every morning, with my whole team. And so now it's my team extended into production, and we're actually diving into these stories, right? Then you have this really unique perspective with Kim there, because Kim's on every meeting and she's sharing, her vast knowledge of subjects that some of us don't even know exist. It's really amazing. And she knows things about everything. she has files and access to the quantum system on just a whole different level. It's incredible. So the news is going to take on a whole different look, and it's going to force everyone to get better or to cease to exist. I'm telling you, it's going to be amazing. I will tell you that people have really stepped up and helped to donate, and I can't thank those people enough. And we have needed every single dime to make things happen. Nothing has gone to waste because everyone is very frugal and understands that everybody's still working for free, and everyone is dedicated to the cause. There's a couple of people actually we have that have lost their jobs as well, and they're still working for us. They're full time, and they're struggling. And so we'd like to be able to at least give them something to get over this rough patch so we bring funding in. So please, everybody out there, contribute your time, contribute, contribute funds if you have it, and do not contribute if you don't, please. I don't want anybody in a bad situation. But this is, without question, it's going to good use, and you should see. Right now, we have connected the server and about 20 other things that I don't know what they are, but big purchases and products and things that we needed. And then Kim has enhanced this kind of super server so that we can compete with the major networks, right? And really keep track of everything. And she's enhanced it with the most advanced, security features that exist, right? So it'll be really incredible to see it all lay out. But that being said, we still have the same nonsense taking place with the groups here, like Kim funded something, with the government to help them out, and we're pushing forward Life Force, and we want to reallocate this certain budget so that we can fund Life Force, and yet and still, the Secret Service, the pack of jackass losers they are, they did what they do, right? They stall, right? These guys love to stall because they want to control everything. So you know what? Here's what's going to happen. Keep stalling. Go ahead. Keep stalling. At some point, and the point we're at is right now. We're at that point now. We're at the point where it doesn't matter anymore because you're not going to be able to stall long enough to start us out because Kim has the other side of the system, and it has crossed over a certain plane, and right now she's really just building very user-friendly things and ways for us to get through this. And she's just carefully biding her time. So I would highly recommend to anyone out there who's been on the fence, if you were ever, you think you're with us, you think you're not with us, now's the time to be with us because you're about to realize the opportunities to do that. You're not going to want any other side. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be able to actually, get funding to people, to get real solutions to people, to get the real news, the real story, get things out there, and we are knocking on the door. And in fact, I can guarantee that this week you'll see it will not be the complete product, but you will definitely get a feel for how serious we are about coming to you with a mainstream network. So,
awesome.
Kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, well, I did put the PayPal link down below in the description, so it's been so if you need to contribute by PayPal, you could do it that way.
Yeah, and it's we have a lot of people out there who are working night and day, and they are dedicated to the cause, and some of them are making money at all, and any way we can help them, any stipend we can give them just to get them through this, it's really appreciated. So these people, if you are about the truth right now, if you're about the truth, if you are about empowering people, you are going to want to be part of Life Force, you're going to want to be part of UNC. And please, if you know somebody who's just budding talent, I mean globally, everybody around the world, any place you go, if you're in Taiwan or you're in Australia or you're in Japan or wherever, England or any place in the world, we need people. We have some great great, really professional journalists. Oh my gosh, we have something coming out with a documentary that's already made that was shunned by every other network, right? And the reason why it was shunned, right, is because it tells a completely different story, right? And it's backed up with incredible evidence to a very, very well-known murder that we all are familiar with. And it completely, like, the mainstream narrative is totally wrong. And this documentary, which has been seen by almost no one because no network would show it. And we're going to show that. That'll be on the network. Then we have a bunch of other documentaries that were blocked, right? Because they're just too powerful, too true. So the networks wouldn't show them. We'll be showing them. Everything you ever wanted to be on television, like you're like, why do you want to talk about this? Like right now, a lot of those people are reaching out to us to talk to us. And I will tell you that we, we are absolutely fearless about it. We could care less what they have to say. We are going to have our own channel and on all the cable networks. So that's pretty amazing all by itself, just be able to do that. Yeah, it's all coming. It's all coming really fast. It's going to be the fastest network put up in history, and it'll be put together in a way that's super high quality.
No, it's amazing. Well, so how about the people that this talent that you're looking for? Why don't you talk a little bit more about what's expected of them? What should they be doing?
So what we're looking for is we want to get real stories, right? So for example, you have these bricks, these pallets of bricks that were dropped all over the country, right? Conveniently in the same places where there was riots that just so happened to happen, happened to occur. And I would like to know who dropped those bricks, right? So we have citizen journalists out there, somebody, and you might not even consider yourself that. Maybe you want to consider yourself a whistleblower. Maybe you just want to be anonymous. But anybody who's got video of that, because we have video of cops loading bricks, right? We have these pallets of bricks, we have photographs of pallets of bricks that just happen to be set right near police stations, right near city halls, right? We'd love for somebody to come out and say, hey, I have information I want to get to you. So you can write to N as in Nancy, C as in Captain, submissions, UNC submissions @protonmail.com, and send us anything of value, anything you feel like we need to know. And if you want to contribute, just let us know. We'll send you an application. There's an application process and there's a procedure. There's an actual fee because we have to actually create badges and stuff too. And we will send the actual press pass to you, the certification, and actually get like our actual polo shirts with say UNC on them, so that you can actually report, right? And you can't put anything out there that's too graphic, to do with kids or or sexual content, things like that. It has to be respectful, right? But you can tell the truth, right? So if you get something on video that's real and you're referring to something that's happening, you can talk about it, and we will not censor you in any way. Like, we'll put that, and that'll be mainstream, and that'll be included in the mainstream nightly broadcast, So it's really amazing. I've already got some just incredible, unique perspectives, and it's global, global news outlet. So we're trying to get things from all over the world. And then I know there are people out there who have great ideas for shows and things like that. This is the time to do it. If you got a great idea for a show, there's a certain standard of quality. If you already have it developed, or you just had an idea and you can do it, let us know and we'll work with you. Because we want real content, from real people. So no more of this, trumped up messaging, repeated message on every channel.
Right.
This is going to be the truth.
I had covered this one reporter that was out. It looked like at a shopping, plaza, right? Everything was closed. I don't know what his story was going to be about, but cameraman was getting out, and this citizen journalist pulls up in his car, rolls down his window, and starts, yelling at the reporter, and saying, "You're fake news," right? And he's just laying into him, right? For a good minute or so, and he says, "Come on," the guy's trying to give me a break, let me tell my story here. And the guy kept laying into more and more. And he says, just look at the compilations of you repeat everything You all repeat exactly the same things, word for word. You know, the compilations. There's many of them on the internet that you can see. And then the guy says they say goodbye, right? It's about a minute of this, right? And so then the reporter lifts up his mask and starts putting it over his face. And he says, "Oh, you weren't wearing your mask all this time, but you're going to go on camera and you're wearing your mask." And the guy and the reporter, you can see he just droops like that, right? He just drops his shoulders and his head, and he says, they want us to wear this to show unity, and it's a good example, and all this." I said, and your camera.
Not a good example.
Yeah. So anyway, so this is the citizen journalist, right? That's what we have right now. And those type of things are perfect, you know, for putting up.
Well, yeah, there's guys out there like Dan Bongino, who, Dan Bongino is he's a force to be reckoned with all by himself. But,
right.
I'd love to take him off YouTube and put him on UNC.
It may come down to that, but you know what? Dan Bongino made an announcement his last show. And he says, look forward to this show coming up, today. And what it is about Parler, Parler, right? And and that I think he now is a part owner of it or something, because he's got 200,000 people that are following him on there. I'm let me show mine here, but I'm up to 265, so it's gained, like 60 overnight, maybe 50 or 60. I'm not exactly certain, but so it's going up, and I'm putting all the shows that I'm doing there on Parler, and I'm adding other things. So here's this Great Awakening map. Now, this isn't the original. I actually went ahead and I colored this in, and I put in all the of these circles. I highlighted them in color, so it's easier to kind of get your bearings. It's so much information about this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a show just on this map for the Great Awakening and kind of break it down for everybody. But you can come on here. I have the site where you can actually get the posters. Right, and you can just come in here and give a like, and then follow people, and that's how you build this up,
That's great.
So yeah, I think it's excellent. I got, in one day I had a whole bunch of the conservative bigwigs all came up like as options to follow in one day. And I went, oh wow! So there's some big names all coming over here. So I think with Dan Bongino coming out, he's going to be an official spokesman or have a financial interest. I think that's I'm not saying for certain. He kind of implied it, right? So I might be wrong, but it does look like that he is going to be part of it in some way. And that just is going to lend a lot of credence to it. And I think everyone could leave Twitter like overnight. Right, and just crash Twitter, just ignore it altogether. So
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Imagine if the whole plan to crash the economy, while they were crashing the economy, it only crashed the corporations, and all these independent businesses got funded, and we all just rose up and just made the world exactly what it should be.
Well, it is amazing, but it's even better than that. Because they've already created these special purpose vehicles for the Treasury under and in the bill that one of these bills that they passed, they created a system allowing them to buy the debt from the municipal bonds, so from the cities, right? So now there's someone out there that's going to buy the municipal bonds. So that means that if there's any city is not going to they'll still be able to get money, right? So they can pay their police officers, unless they want to defund them stupidly. But not only that, they can also buy stocks and keep the stock market rising. So it's estimated 50% of all debt will be purchased by these special purpose vehicles under the Treasury Department before the end of the year. That means all these this interwoven group of companies that has been out there, controlling America, is now being purchased by the American people using the giant credit card of the Fed, an unlimited amount. So it's just a transfer of wealth away from the cabal. So that's what's happening, and I'm just thinking, once that happens, there is no need to have any kind of tax on the people. It's the income tax is supposed to be only on corporations anyway. That's how it was written. It's just that they use the birth certificate entity corporation as what they're taxing, right? You have to pay because of that, right? So, but if they just can make it all under all of these corporations, if they end up 50% being owned by the people, what kind of dynamic does that make? Right? We could replace everyone on the board of directors. So we have a interwoven, network that Karen Hudis had talked about for a long time, right? About I guess it was a Swiss. Some group out of Switzerland, they did some study and showed that all the top 150 corporations of the world, all of the different directors, board members, were interlocking, meaning that the one guy sat on 10 boards and another guy sat on 10 boards, and they crisscrossed, right? So that they all were able to kind of have the same people and the same vibe all around this one central hub of corporations. So if you can now put people on those boards, you're doing the same thing. You're taking control over all of those corporate entities, all of them. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes about, because those are the only ones that need to pay tax. Those corporations, and and then it's basically paying for the government, right, and paying for all the other. Let's say humanitarian projects that need to come about, right, can all come from this. So it makes more sense than trying to go after people's income, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so that's just a little. I can see that's a good person. I hope that's exactly what they're doing. I know that they're buying up all that debt and stocks, and they said stocks and bonds. So if they're buying up stocks, they can keep the stock market rising, right? That means the 401ks go up. Everyone gets happy. A lot of money now flowing into the hands, and then if the Fed can't pay its bills because it's so much debt, they're holding all of it. So,
yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. I guess we'll see how it all. I mean, this whole thing with what's happening with the money, right? Is like we've all I basically put it in the back of my mind, because at some point, all the money can come in, and if it's if people don't understand what's going to happen, all we'll do is recreate the same broken thing, right? So,
Sure.
Instead of repeating the same failed system that we've, been using, that has led to, worldwide poverty and corporate, supervillains and,
Yeah.
Every bank being insolvent. It's time to implement new models and new ideas, and we're really on the precipice of change with this, right? We're in the moment of creating new methods and new ways of doing things, new ways
Right.
to represent the collective of the people, and allowing the collective to actually define who they are instead of defining to them who they are, right? So it's interesting because we had this, really great meeting this morning with UNC, and in this we were talking about the direction, and investigators and authors and journalists, right? They are into everything. It's amazing. They're turning up so much. It's embarrassing to other news stations how much they've ignored and hidden, right?
Yep.
But in the process, we've got to be careful because we can bring all that out, and then what does it do to people to know all of this stuff? But now all we've done is just perpetuate. It's even worse than you thought, right? So we don't want to do that. So we got to really shift the message to be one where we're talking about solutions, right? So how do we get to now? Here's what you can do to change things, right? Here's what can make a difference, right? And so that's really what the folks was this morning, and I was so impressed with this team of how they jumped right on it and they got it and they're working on it and everybody's moving just so fast, and authors they're writing scripts and and still making contacts, and everyone's doing all they can to get involved and get these people involved and try to bring investors in, because we do have an investor coming in, but as you know, these things take some time. So we're just trying to bridge the gap until we have functional money,
Right.
But man, it's exciting. I gotta tell you, it is all of it. We gotta change it, man. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the time that we get. We actually get to go and change.
Yeah, I just what I was describing though, I think is one of the steps you take in order to facilitate the change, right? Because you just can't. How do you move past this existing system? Well, you got to change who's running it, and the one way to do that is to buy them all out with their own their own debt-based money.
I just don't think it's going to happen as a problem. Because even the guys who are buying, even the ones doing this, it just seems this way to me, And basically, you got to think we're dealing directly with the White House stuff, right? So I'm watching the exact same nonsense take place. Here it is, finally. The president really needs a mainstream outlet. But you know what? Here we are. Do your part. I hit the president up today. The president was talking about now think about what they're doing. They're trying to defund the police departments, right?
Right.
Well, the last person to do that was Hitler.
Right.
Hitler defunded the police department right before he implemented his own SS, right? That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to implement the United Nations and have them take over, right? And they're trying to, but we have inside information that says the NYPD was preparing for riots from Black Lives Matter 4 weeks before the George Floyd incident. How's that possible?
Yep. Yeah.
How would they know? Because Black Lives Matter protests, it was a completely random, response, wasn't it, to George Floyd? How would they know?
Right.
I've got reports of police officers antagonizing black neighborhoods to spark them, so they were ready to protest. But then, when Black Lives Matter had a protest, they didn't say a word. And yet, so if they were a threat, why weren't they a threat then? Right. So there's just a lot of questionable behavior that's taking place everywhere.
Well,
we got to start putting the pieces together. And what I see right now is, even the White House. I hit the president up today. He said it's about the NYPD, or not the NYPD, but the police department. And what I hit him up and I said, stop talking about the obvious problem and activate the solution. And I just sent him a picture of the logo, because we're dealing with them directly. Hey, why don't you keep your meeting with our guy so we can get this going? Let's get this going. And then the president would have a force out there enforcing the executive orders and protecting the constitutional rights of the people. I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. That's a win-win for everybody.
Yep. That is true. Well, I see.
So that's why I say, when I know you talk about clever planning, I can tell you for a fact now, the clever planning that you talked about, it is cracking at best. It has not been all benevolent by any means. So I'm telling you that firsthand now. The things that are happening are exactly like what I suspected, and I'm rooting for it, rooting for good things to happen. But you know what? The fact that You finally have a force to represent the people. You have it here. You have the funding sources on board. She'll bring money in, and take care of the government, let it, make sure everybody's good. It's right here. Do something about it. Make the change, make the shift. Quit messing around. Stop taking the people's lives, right?
Yep.
Stop feeding on the life force of the people for a few minutes more of glory. And at least give the people a voice. Give the people the protection they deserve. Give the people the chance to rebuild their businesses that they've lost in this bullshit COVID-19 farce.
Right.
Right, which we now know is half as dangerous as the flu.
Half.
Which wouldn't that basically mean that it's just barely more dangerous than a cold?
Well, it's actually more like it's actually less than half. It's more like a third. A third more dangerous. A third less. A third of the danger. Right. So it's it's ridiculous.
That basically means it's a cold. It's a cold. Right?
It's a cold. It's like normal cold. The only virus is the fear virus coming from the mainstream media.
You know what it is? I've got it now in New York, at the New York Assembly. We were making they wanted to make T-shirts, right, to like promote. So we made a shirt. It's a big Pac-Man, and on the Pac-Man it says Quomonism, like instead of communism, Quomonism.
Quomonism, yeah.
Because he's trying to implement his version of the communist regime here in New York, right?
Yeah, his nipple rings have made it mainstream on Fox. They were talking,
really?
Yeah, they were talking about it on the 5.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me!
Yeah, yeah.
That's newsworthy. That's newsworthy.
Yeah, old nipples Cuomo. So it's and what do we call it? She didn't. She was saying that she doesn't mean to kink shame anybody.
I love it. Not the kink shame.
Yeah, you don't need the kink shame. But so this stuff is making out, right? Why is it coming out? Because we all start talking about it. And so it comes out. They can't hide anymore. That's the main thing that's happened, right? With us being able to analyze, and we jumped on this. One little point I did make a video a couple days ago about George Floyd in the when taking away on the gurney. There's a little section where it doesn't look like there's any legs there. Right? No legs on there, but when the another they're like it's a dummy, right? So there's another video that I saw from another angle that looks like there may be legs there, but they were very low down, like very flat in that other video. Just another thing. I didn't get it queued up to show it, but anyway, we don't know. Right, because until we keep analyzing and keep bringing out as much video as we can to see what's going on, we don't know. But everything's
we can always go interview George Floyd's twin brother, identical twin brother, Greg Floyd. Did you know he was a twin?
I wasn't sure if it was a spoof. A guy that was really pretending to be, his twin brother, or if it was a real twin brother. I know he has brothers. I didn't know if because I saw some other stuff where it shows that
it's just him.
It's him. Ah, okay, that's what you're saying. I got it now. Oh, that blew right past me. See, more information. I didn't know about that. But I did see, his brothers in videos, and I showed this as his father's Masonic gear that was bequeathed to them, the apron and all the other stuff, from 2016. If you scroll back far enough on their Facebook of his brother, you'll find that him thanking and talking about his father and all his father's brothers, in the Freemasons, so. And it showed that he was a Freemason. George Floyd is a Freemason. Showed that he, that the restaurant that he worked in, the club, He worked there with Derek for whatever, a dozen years plus. And
Really?
yeah.
Wait, a dozen years?
Yeah, a dozen years. Yeah.
Wow. I
And
didn't know that.
and
Yeah.
that restaurant.
So it'd be pretty hard not to know each other.
Right. And well, one worked outside, one worked inside, is what the former owner said. I brought up her interview and I showed it because she did an interview on the local news, and she had sold the restaurant the prior month to the mayor. So it's just interesting how it gets tied into the city government at that point. The mayor owning the restaurant.
There is a ton of very, very sketchy, questionable things out there. I cannot believe the depth and the horror of things that are just they tie together in this web of lies.
Yeah.
And
it's a complete movie that they keep constructing, and it's the only thing they know, right? They don't know how to do stories. All they know how to do is take the script and present it. It's the same reason why you see the British reporter on at 9/11 and the building is in the background that she says is collapsing, right? I'd be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if it actually collapsed while she was doing the story. Right, but
right.
But they just follow the script. They don't investigate. Right. They're just actors. All of them.
Didn't they report it like 18 minutes earlier or something?
Yeah, I was going to say 20 minutes, but yeah, 20 minutes earlier than it actually fell.
Right.
So
why are you reporting that? It didn't happen yet. How do you know?
Yeah.
News is so good there they prophesy.
Well, it's in the background of that video, right over her shoulder. They're taking a video shot of where the building stood, right where it was supposed to be, but it really is still there right now. So this is so they're just blatant about it, and everyone literally has been asleep because of the trust that we put into the government, the trust that we put into the people that were bringing the news.
Willie Lynch, How to Make a Slave. Divide them against each other. Make it so the only person they can trust is you. That is what they do.
Yep.
And, I'll tell you something. Oh, I got to tell you this.
This story also made it to the news, just so you know, the Willie Lynch story. I saw it on one of these news broadcasts. They brought it up. I don't
really.
Yeah. I should have captured it, but then they talked about Lynchburg. I think it was Lynchburg, Virginia, but they were talking about the Civil War and all this about how they would, how they basically would control the slaves. For the headstrong ones, the ones that wouldn't go along with the program, right? So they would, they sent them off to Willie Lynch, right? And that's how this came about. Anyway, so you're the only one I ever knew that spoke anything about that, and then it's made it to the mainstream, sort of, I think it must have been Fox, or maybe it was our new.
Actually, talking to Kim. Because Kim has all this, Kim knows all the real news going on. So many things are going on, right? And they won't do anything about it, right? But now we're having these calls because they observe everything that Kim says, right? Now they're trying to beat us to things, right? So they're trying to bring out things, and they're making it part of their narrative.
They make their own spin on it.
Yeah, so I've watched them do this for years with Kim, right? We were talking about banking and things. So, they're all over this. But I'll tell you this is amazing, actually. Some of the connections that some of the people that are going to come out on the UNC network that we're going to interview, it's going to blow your mind. Because some of the things that are going to come out, they're going to completely revolutionize science. Some of the things that are going to come out, it's going to revolutionize healthcare. It's going to change the way. It's going to change the narrative so dramatically. I mean, think about all the things that we talk about, Dan, that are amazing. And I'm telling you that, plus, 100. really incredible stuff going on. And we have to ease into it, but it's big, real solutions of like real things that are gonna just blow people's minds. I'm telling you, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
But a lot of them need us. What they want to see is they want to make sure the platform is real, right? So it's a lot of pressure, right? Because we're trying to put it out and make sure everything in the product is real, and then we have to be able to continue to reproduce it repeatedly,
right.
for a long period of time. So, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's already you can feel it in the air. The energy. I covered this yesterday, right? Is actually literally reading the resonant energy, resonant frequency of the planet, and how much energy is actually flowing in right now.
That's cool. What is that?
Yeah, so that's was pretty amazing to see, and it's coming in these waves and comes in.
Oh, you talking about the Schumann resonance?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Schumann. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the Schumann resonance.
Right. It's supposed to be 7.85, and now it's raising higher and higher and higher, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's different ripples of it, right? It's another recurrence of the same frequency. It's just a little bit higher and then a little bit higher. There's about 4 bands of it, that are kind of there. But on the particular day, you can see how much is really happening on that one particular day for how long, maybe for an hour or maybe for 3 or 4 hours, right? And you can see that it's really picking up. And so the 17th, I mean, there's a lot going on. I think when I first talked to you today, I said it's like energy soup out there. Everything's swirling around, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of easy to get caught up in.
The 17th is going to be, we're trying to take advantage of that. There's going to be an incredible rush of energy coming on the 17th. Then again on the 22nd. I mean, I'm looking forward to the one on the 17th to really take advantage and put out some really strong things on that day. I really am hoping we finish in time. We're pushing. Yeah, but you're right. The energy is incredible. The energy is incredible. And you know what? Now's the time. Now's the time of kind of instantaneous manifestation, right? If they've taken the collective consciousness and they've drowned it in lies, now is the best time to come out and start giving people ways to change that and change that frequency, because the light source energy, I mean, really, God is with us, like bringing this in, like supporting this change.
Yeah. Well, just try to remain focused on the your intention, the positive outcome, right? And don't try to get swept away with things that are going to be happening, right? Because you could go down the wrong road, the wrong path with some of this energy that's flowing, right? You can because there's so much happening at once. Just stay focused on the positive, remain calm. Think about just keep trying to pull together. Don't allow yourselves to get pulled apart. Yeah. This is the time.
I'll tell you, you'll see people fall off. Don't be surprised. You're going to see people act out. I've been watching people.
Yeah.
I've been having conversations with people over and over again who call me. And we're looking at the same set, same information, facts, and they cannot wrap their mind around it, because the energy is so powerful to them, and they just haven't adjusted yet. And it's very hard. So they're yelling at me. But when we look at it, like, look, what are you talking about? Look right here. Here's the absolute proof, right? And they're having a hard time with it. Some people are having a hard time with it, and that's going to happen. Yeah. And what I think is, eventually, what you're going to see is you're going to see them, as in they, the infamous they, the bad guys, they're falling off, and it's going to get worse and worse for them, because this energy is going to rise up. And I'm telling you, the next 40 days is going to be incredible. 40, I'm not sure, 35.
Yeah. Well, it's a good launching point for a new abundance-based world, the new path forward. Keeping everything on the general direction of positive, right? There's always a back and forth, right? whenever a ripple starts, right, it has a tendency to go up and down, right?
Yeah,
and then
right.
and
That's
but
right. That's
you
crazy, right? Sure.
right, yeah, so you gotta just realize that that also can still be in general going up while it's going up and down, right? The overall,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. It might
overall,
seem like it's up and down, but it's still waiting in the upward angle. Yeah.
right?
Right.
You're moving beyond, right? And we never have to go back down. That's the beauty of infinite. We can infinitely be going in towards the positive. You know, there's the waves along the way, and we just ride through them and just keep riding the crest into the positive. So,
Yeah, man. That's good. I love it.
yeah, hang loose.
I'm in. I'm in.
Hey, I just did this surfer symbol, right? I thought, oh, now what am I doing now? Who's going to say this was some kind of devil symbol,
I
right?
know.
It's
But
like,
Dan outed himself as a member of the Masonic Order of
yeah,
Misfit Toys. We knew it.
yeah,
We knew it.
yeah.
We got him.
I know. It's like, what do you do? Yeah. It's like I brought this point up in the chat room, really just talking about when you start looking at symbols of something, there is only one math, right? There's only one sacred geometry. There's only one symbol for whatever that symbol is. It's a symbol that just holds energy, right? It holds information, and but it's the use of that, right? And if you want to just say the cabal's the only one that can use these symbols, that means that it only is being used for the bad, the negative energy, right? I don't want to give up anything to them, and no sacred geometry, so it's just right. It's one of those things that they're trying to do is to make sure you don't use it. It's part of their psyop, right? Is for you not to use these symbols. It's like for the gold grain coin, the logo I created for it was the flower of life combined with the yin yang. So I was looking for abundance and balance.
Yeah.
Right. That's the intention behind it. So. But when I first put it out, then some people were saying, "Oh, this is," send some negative vibes towards it. I go, "Nah, stop that." This is I'm not part of any secret society, and not part of any plan to change the world into a negative hell on earth.
Yeah, I'm not part of that.
Not part of that. No, I'm on the opposite side. I want to bring it to the abundance and move forward, And this is the wonderful time, right? This energy that's flowing. I mean, it's really is intense. The stuff that's happening.
It's intense, and there's things that we've held on to that we're gonna have to decide if we're willing to let them go. It's a silly example maybe, but I don't know, it makes sense to me. Maybe it'll make sense to somebody else out there. I always ask people what their name means, right? When I meet them, especially if they have an interesting name. I'm like, oh, what does your name mean? And sometimes people know the definition of their name. But my favorite answer is when somebody knows what their name means based on who they are, right? Mm-hmm. Because the walk we have through life, the testimony we are, right? The words we use, the conduct, the things that we stand for, the mistakes we've made and overcome, right? And the things that have shaped us into who we are. Our name is the symbolic of that path through life, right? So we should be cognizant of that. I tell my sons this all the time. Make your name mean something.
I just looked.
Same holds true with the symbolism.
I just looked up. I just looked up mine. Daniel. God is my judge.
Yeah. There you go.
I never looked it up. I never really thought about it. I did associate my signs, you know, the Chinese sign and the in the Western sign. So I've got dragon and Libra, or Libra dragon, right? So I always had this
Yep.
this idea of balance. You know, I'm all into balance. You know, the dragon being I always saw this as a, you know, a gold dragon with a split tail of scales, right, to balance out things. Right, so it's just a power symbol, right? It's a, you know, a way of focusing to do good things with power, right? And you know, but I also remember when I did those interviews with Swiss Indo, right? And while I was there, I picked up all these dragon shirts. I thought they were fantastic. so so I wear these dragon shirts, and now everyone thinks that, you know, I was part of some, you know, dragon family, right? I had all that coming. I said, no, I just like dragons.
You know, it's right. There's a positive and negative to everything. You know, it's like what you tell me. Somebody was talking about the phoenix, right?
Yeah.
In the symbol for life force, right? Well, you know, the symbol of the phoenix, even if a phoenix is a dragon, the principle, the story of what it is, right? To be burned down into ashes, basically to lose everything,
Yeah.
and to resurrect and be born new.
Right.
I mean, that is the symbolism, right?
That is.
So, like, it's not negative. You know,
No.
it's what we make of it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with associating that with being part of something bigger than ourselves, but being very much a part of ourselves. You know?
Right. Well, we have to recognize that there's the both sides of the wave, the positive and the negative, right? So
Right.
it's just the math, right? It's just the physics. It's just, you know, part of how things, how reality functions, right? Is to see the whole picture, right? And realize, you know, there's certain things that, you know, are we want the same thing in general, right? We want our children to be healthy. We want them to grow up. We want them to do well. We want to have clean air, clean water, clean food. We want to be able to go ahead and have fun, right? We want to have not all work and not all play.
Mhm.
Right? Unless you like to play at work, and then it works for you. You know, like so.
Right. I think about this in this whole process. You know, everything that we've done, all the different, you know, helping people and, you know, talking about it and exposing things and taking big steps to kind of move humanity forward. Man, I love that. If I could have got paid and been able to take care of my family during this, I would never have complained. I mean, I don't think I complained a whole lot anyway, but I'm so grateful to be able to do it because I love this, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is an amazing thing. And what's really amazing is, like, everybody's part of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how often are you part of something that really everybody's part of, or everybody's affected by?
No, I couldn't see not doing this. You know, even again, Swiss Indo. My path to Swiss Indo was really a big diversion for where I was and what I was doing in my life. Right? You know, the move. I already knew that it was happening beforehand. I mean, I was on doing one thing. I was in one industry. I was focused over here. And I said, I know that I'm doing something else now, right? I know that it's coming. I could feel it, right? And then, you know, now I'm looking into historical bonds. I'm, you know, in this, you know, went to Swiss Indo, went to China and the Philippines, and then end up staying here in the Philippines. But I learned so much that I could not have learned where I was, you know, focused in that other industry. So whatever, you know, whatever my path was, I knew this is what I needed to do. I couldn't imagine not doing it, right? But I've always been on this particular path of creating an abundance-based world. I go back, you know, to, you know, major efforts on my part from, you know, like 1999, right?
Yeah.
Trying to focus on building a company that was going to do a certain thing, but I was looking at it from the hardware standpoint, make a new computer system. That system would be the way to keep privacy, to keep being able to do commerce, and all of those things that were coming, right? It was we're preparing to do, you know. And you know, but the path is there. You know, we're on it. We're here. You know, regardless of how many timelines you had to jump to get here, we're all here right now.
Yeah, starting from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, we're here. So.
All right, man. That's all I got, I think.
Oh, we're good. We're right at an hour, so that was good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Dan, always a pleasure. I appreciate all you're doing, man. Thanks so much for all your help. And everybody out there in the land of Oz, please stay tuned, stay focused. We have got amazing, amazing things that are coming this week. And be ready for that light energy thrust on Wednesday. And I would keep an eye out.
Be positive. Keep positive. Just stay focused on the positive. Yeah.
Yep. And look, guys, we need all the help we can get. This is a global movement. We need everybody to be involved. If you ever want to be involved in changing the world, this is your chance. Please contribute in any way you can, whether it's your time, whether it's your ideas, your intelligence. If we didn't get back to you, please try again. It's just because we're swamped and we need all the help we can get. We need people we can trust. We did have some people, kind of go different ways on us. Not just all of us. There's just different groups have kind of fallen apart and just not even necessarily in a bad way. Just some people just taking a different path. So we need all the help we can get. We're missing a lot of key players who played very important roles. So, and we are pressed. It's amazing how hard. I really appreciate. I can hardly remember what it's like to function, right, with enough money, not to have to like maneuver things around.
Yeah.
Like I can't
the juggling.
until we just have functional, operational cash where we can just move. It's not all this, budgeting and negotiating and stuff like that. Trying to figure it out. So please contribute any way you can. We appreciate it. And we'll put it to good use, and you will all benefit from it. And by the way, donations will all return back to people, by the way. Anybody who put money up, you will get every dime back, just for the record, so we know.
It's wonderful. Wonderful.
So,
all right. Thanks, Tank. See you next week. Call me if you need anything, and we'll see everyone else tomorrow. Bye for now.
All right. Go play with.